Coleman 5 horsepower outboard motor, carburetor removal and cleaning. This video goes through the step-by-step process of removing and cleaning a Coleman 5 horsepower outboard motor carburetor. Remove the gas cap and top cowling assembly to access the carburetor. Remove the throttle cable from the carburetor using a Phillips screwdriver. Remove the bolt caps located on the airbox to access and remove the bolts attaching the carburetor to the engine. Once the bolts are removed, carefully remove the gaskets and poly spacer. Inspect the gaskets for damage when removing. If the gaskets are damaged, the gaskets will need to be replaced with new ones before reassembly. Carefully remove the choke cable from the carburetor. With a carburetor cleaner, spray and clean the outside of the carburetor. Set the carburetor on a flat surface upside down and remove the two screws attaching the bowl to the carburetor. Then remove the bowl. Locate and remove the float hinge pin. Carefully remove the float and needle valve. Locate and remove the rubber cap on the secondary jet center post. With a flathead screwdriver, remove the main jet. With a narrow, small flathead screwdriver, remove the small, elongated jet. With a flathead screwdriver, remove the large elongated jet from the secondary jet center post. With a carburetor cleaner spray, clean the carburetor thoroughly by spraying through each of the orifices. Clean all of the jets by spraying the carburetor cleaner through them. Inspect each of the jets after cleaning, making sure there is no debris clogging any of the holes. Clean the bowl. Clean the float, then clean the needle valve. Reinstall the large elongated jet with the large flat portion of the jet facing up in the secondary center post. Reinstall the small elongated jet in the center post. Reinstall the main jet in the center post. Reinstall the float and needle valve. Secure the float with the hinge pin. Lift the float up and down and make sure that the needle valve is operating properly and not binding. Reinstall the rubber plug in the secondary center post. Reattach the bolt to the carburetor. Make sure the O-ring seal is in place and not damaged. Reconnect the choke cable to the carburetor. Insert the bolts that hold the carburetor assembly together. Reinstall the gaskets and the poly spacer. Reattach the carburetor to the engine. Install the bolt caps to the airbox assembly. Reattach the fuel hose. Make sure the clamp is in place. Reattach the throttle cable. Make sure the throttle works properly after installation. Make sure the choke operates properly. Reinstall the top cowling and install the gas cap. For questions regarding these instructions, please call Coleman Power Sports at 888-405-8725.